Thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 4. I am Frank Omalape. The police in Kano have confirmed the death of 12 persons, including 2 suicide bombers, and Tuesday bomb attack on the Kano Line motor park. Commissioner of Police Ibrahim Idris told journalists at the bomb scene that the bombers entered terminal with a mini bus under the pretext of looking for passengers. The bomber, who were said to be between the ages of 17 and 19, detonated the bomb as soon as the bus was filled up. The incident happened at about 3 p.m.
This afternoon, we had a bomb blast, and by the time we rushed here, we discovered that there was a bomb blast at this Kano line in the Nasarawa area in Kano State, and in Kano City. So far, we've conducted just some preliminary investigation on the site, while detailed investigation will continue. What we have found out so far at the moment is that, as you can see, it involves 3 vehicles: a Sharon bus, a second bus, and a car, a golf car. We estimated that about 12 people have died in this blast. And from the information we gathered at the scene, it seems that the bombers, 2 of them, these 12 include the 2 bombers. It seems that the 2 bombers came in that Sharon car as passengers from outside the city. So they came in, they are driven as passengers. In the process of moving out of the vehicle, after arriving at the motor park, that's the time they detonated the bomb. As I indicated, investigation is ongoing, and obviously you are going to be available of further development.
Lokacin da na shigo na zo muka gaggaisa da su a nan bakin gate, na shiga ciki muka gaisa da su a nan wajen mota suna lodi. Akwai ma'aikacin mu yana da rubuta list mai haka, sai je muka gaisa da shi ma, to shi ma ta ritsa da shi abin, sai na wuce sai na je wajen wata mai abinci na dawo, bayan na bada cajin rediyo na kenan. Na dawo ina zuwa daidai nan wajen layin abin nan, na ji zan karɓa aiki kawai sai na ji wannan abin ya tashi, amma ni na gan su mutanen kuma gaskiya ban yarda da su ba tunda ma'aikaci ne ni ma a gurin. To amma abin da baka da tabbas baka amfani da baɗini kawai, shi sa ni gaskiya ban yanke hukunci akai ba, amma na gan su.
Meanwhile, another suicide bombing has again occurred in a commercial bus in Potiskum, Yobe State, attacking a bus. The suicide bomber was said to have disguised as a passenger to get onto the bus before detonating and killing scores of people. 10 persons, including the female suicide bomber, have been confirmed dead following the bomb blast, and their bodies deposited at the town's General Hospital mortuary. Potiskum has suffered several bomb attacks in recent times, and this latest attack is coming 2 days after another suicide bombing alleged by a 7-year-old girl. And now President Goodluck Jonathan has described Tuesday bomb attacks as a sign of desperation by Boko Haram. He also commiserated with the families of victims of the bomb attacks, which he tagged callous at. President Jonathan said in a statement in Abuja that the decision to bomb soft targets is a sign that insurgents are feeling the impact of the counter-insurgency operation of the Nigerian armed forces and their regional allies. He also assured all Nigerians and the people of the northeastern state that the days of mourning victims of incessant terrorist attacks in the country will soon be over. This, according to him, is because the tide has now turned against Boko Haram. President Jonathan noted that this administration will continue to take steps to guarantee the success of ongoing military operations against the group, as well as reduce its ability to recruit, groom and brainwash young persons for suicide bombing of soft targets. And now the House of Representatives has hailed the military and the federal government of the current effort of combating insurgency in the northeast. The federal lawmakers also commended troops for retaking Baga and other towns previously occupied by Boko Haram insurgents. Raising a motion at Tuesday plenary, a member from Borno State, Tahiru Monguno, says the military authorities deserve commendation for liberating Monguno and other towns in the northeast. He, however, urged the military to sustain the current success used in tackling the insurgents Other lawmakers also supported the motion, saying it is necessary to encourage the military on its current efforts at securing lives and property in the Northeast. The House also commended President Goodluck Jonathan for playing a good role in the recent achievements of the military in the fight against insurgency. The federal legislators noted that the success of the military operations will enhance the credibility of the rescheduled general elections. And now the All Progressive Congress has lauded the efforts of the Nigerian military in its recent victories against the Boko Haram insurgents. On the other hand, the APC berated President Goodluck Jonathan for allowing the Boko Haram menace to fester, leading to the death of over 15,000 Nigerians and the displacement of over 3 million others in the past 6 years. The party made this statement through its National Publicity Secretary Alhaji Lai Mohammed in London. The party also hailed the military for the successes it has recorded in the battle against Boko Haram in recent times, saying the string of victories confirmed the party's stand that the Nigerian military can hold its own anywhere and anytime if provided with the necessary equipment and if the morale of the troops is not undermined. APC said the president has deliberately allowed the Boko Haram crisis to fester because he and his team saw it as their trump card for winning a re-election in 2015. The APC Presidential Campaign Organization has challenged the federal government and the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, to account for the 800 million and 50 billion naira of the Cabotage Vessel Finance Fund. It also demanded for a list of beneficiaries if indeed the agency disbursed funds in line with the nation's law. The party's campaign team alleged that the fund was money derived from two contracts under the cabotage regime, which is now being used for non-shipping purposes. Its spokesman Garba Shehu said in a statement that Nigerians deserve to know what happened to the money accumulated under the CVFF fund. This, he noted, is against the backdrop of claims that the fund may have been diverted for other purposes like campaign for the PDP presidential candidate. And now the Federation Account Allocation Committee has shared 500.1 billion naira among federal, state and local governments for the month of January 2015. The amount disbursed to the three tiers of government included the 6.3 billion naira refunded by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. Minister of State for Finance Bashiru Yuguda made this known on Tuesday night, where he briefed newsmen on the outcome of FAA Account Allocation Committee meeting in Abuja. A breakdown shows that federal government got 194.3 billion naira, representing 52.68%, and state got 98.5 billion naira, representing 26.72%, while local government received 75.9 billion naira, amounting to 20.60% of the amount distributed. There were, however, concerns over the continued plunge in the Federation's revenue, and states were again urged to increase their internal revenue generation drive rather than rely solely on Federation account. And now the Federal High Court in Abuja has referred another suit challenging the eligibility of President Goodluck Jonathan for the 2015 elections to the appeal court. The suit is seeking legal clarification on the actual number of years President Goodluck Jonathan and his deputy Namadi Sambo have spent in office. Ruling on the matter on Tuesday, Justice Ahmed Mohammed relied on the provision of Section 295, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution. He held that the appellate court is in position to give a interpretation to Section 135 and 137 of the Constitution as it relates to tenure of the office of the President. Justice Mohammed noted that the questions that were posed before the court for determination by the plaintiffs were the same in content and fact with the suit earlier referred to the Court of Appeal for judicial interpretation. None of the parties opposed Mohammed's decision to shift the matter to the appellate court for determination. The three lawyers, Mashi Acho, Sadiq Umaru, and Murtala Abubakar, had gone before the court to challenge the eligibility of President Jonathan to stay in office for another 4 years. The Federal Executive Council at a weekly meeting has approved 9 new private universities for the country. The approval was given at the meeting, in which was presided over by Vice President Amadi Sambo. Minister of Aviation Osita Chidoka announced the decision at a post-press briefing. The new private universities, according to Chidoka, include Hallmark University, Michael and Cecilia Ibro University, King's University, Mountaintop University, Augustine University, Christland University, and Summit University, among others. Away from that now, various criticisms have greeted the release of the alleged Ekiti election rigging audio tape by military officer Sage Iko. The most recent of it is that of the PDP presidential campaign team spokesman Femi Fani-Kaode, as he questioned the credibility of the audio tape. Fani-Kaode says nothing in the tape suggests elements of rigging the Ekiti gubernatorial elections as claimed by the All Progressive Congress, and that opposition party should instead be accused of rigging.
We played that tape to the Nigerian public. We did a press conference in Abuja. We played the tape from beginning to end. And nothing that was said in that tape suggested by Fayose, by Obanikoro, by Adesion, the Honorable Minister for Police Affairs, and anybody else, nothing that was in that tape suggested there was any element of rigging or counsel to rig from any of those key people to the army officer or to any of the security officials there. Absolutely none. I would urge you and every single Nigerian that's interested to listen to that tape carefully from beginning to end. And you will find that there was nothing that was suspicious, nothing that was wrong. What they were saying, at least my understanding of it was this, what they were saying was they were urging the military, they were urging the soldiers, they were urging the police to ensure that they did a good job and to ensure that everybody was allowed to vote peacefully. And I don't believe there's anything wrong with that. So this thing that they keep on talking about, this Fayose tape, is absolute bunkum. I suggest people should listen to that tape. I would also suggest that people should also go and view the tape that we put out, where you saw APC supporters thumbprinting ballot papers in Osun State in support of Rauf Aregbesola. That was very clear, completely illegal. It was a criminal offense. We called for the police to investigate that, and we called for the APC to desist from behaving in that way. And so if you're looking for tapes that are incriminating, don't look towards Ekiti and Fayose, look towards the APC Osun State and the APC generally.
Now, the 11 former Niger Delta warlords have declared that there might be chaos in the region if general elections scheduled for March 28 and April 11 are not free and fair. They also vowed to resist any attempt to deploy troops to intimidate eligible voters in the region before, during, and after the elections. The former militant, who described themselves as the leaders of ex-militants in Nigeria, insisted that the leadership of the Independent National Electoral Commission must be given a free hand and the necessary support to conduct credible elections. They also reject any pronouncement of a breakdown of law and order in the Niger Delta if a particular candidate does not win. The 11 ex-militants who personally signed the document include General Boni, Friday Montoro, Smart Mola, General King Jerry, and General Isi Olobo. Others are Friday Edema, Saturday Emmanuel, Sunday Amoma, Alfred Ireta, and Peter Asule. You're still watching CoreTV News at 4. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more stories after this time out. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
If you just joined us, this is CoreTV News at 4, live from our Lagos studios. For more information, you can log on to Facebook. It's facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can as well follow at CoreTV News NG. And for live streaming, log on to www.youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space, then news. And our senators on Tuesday grilled the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Musa Sada, on the 2014 budget performance when he showed up to defend the 2015 allocation. One after the other, members of the Senate Committee on Power, Mines and Steel picked holes in the last budget and wondered why the sector is not well developed. Lawmakers believe that now that the global oil market is witnessing a slump, Nigeria should be benefiting from its non-oil mineral resources.
Life is not just move down, there's an earthquake in the whole country. Everybody's running a casket. Look at the budget that is being brought here. This looks like a negative budget. I look at power and steel, I see some project 1.something million. It's funny. Making everybody look like a country of zombies. It's not good. It's not good. I'm not happy. These things are known. This diversification, these resources we have, we know they are there. And in most places, illegal miners are taking them away. Illegal miners are taking them away. With even good method of extraction. We have to sit up and be serious in this country. We have to understand.
A situation where we consider a budget, have it approved, then somebody sits in an office and refuses to make releases. On the basis of that, ministers and other agencies, officials are made to award contracts. At the end of the day, releases are not made. Somebody declares that there is a surplus, and you tell me that there is an economy that is growing. It's simple planlessness, and this is frustrating, and this cannot go on.
The government has to put in money and do a lot more studies in the code that we have. Because for you to be able to establish a power plant, you must know the size of the resource. When you are putting a power plant, you must even give it the age that it's going to last for 20 years. Then you must have resource enough to last for 20 years. And to be able to establish this information requires money. And the investors coming in will not simply invest money to acquire information. They want to invest money to start a business and start making money. So this particular, the advice also, government needs to invest in that particular aspect.
Meanwhile, the plenary of the Federal House of Representatives became rowdy and tensed when members argued on a motion moved by Aliyu Madaki to curb the perceived excesses of Assistant Inspector General of Police Joseph Mbu, saying he should be relieved of any role in the conduct of the 2015 general elections. Madaki hinged his motion titled Violation of the Constitution and Disrespect for the Rule of Law by Assistant Inspector General of Police Joseph Mbu on the utterances and actions of Mbu, which he says were at variance with the Constitution and provisions of the Electoral Act. Citing the Governor's immunity clause in the Constitution, Madaki says Mbu allegedly directed all officers and men in his command to disregard any immunity being enjoyed by any governor, which action amounted to a violation of the Constitution. The House members entered into a shouting match when Linus Okorie challenged the motion on the grounds that Mbu was unavailable to defend himself. A noise grew deafening as House members would not let Okorie speak in a bid to calm the situation. Emeka Ihedioha, her deputy speaker, who presided over the sitting, moved for a voice note on the matter, but the voice votes were not clearly defined, and Ihedioha sent the motion to the Committee on Police Affairs for investigation. Mbu was earlier reported to have declared that for every policeman killed during the election, 20 civilians will be killed in return. He echoed similar sentiments last week during the inauguration of the Olorun-Shogo 2-power station last week by the president. And now the leadership of the Oyo State House of Assembly has assured residents of a thorough scrutiny of the financial expenditure report for the 33 local government councils under caretaker supervision submitted to the House by the Auditor General of each council. According to the Chairman House Committee on Information and Orientation, Kola De Olagujun, the report, which has been submitted to the Public Accounts and Appropriation Committee, will make their findings known to the public in 7 days.
Work is in progress and is for the benefit of the populace. The reports have been submitted now, directed to the appropriate committee. So the committee reports back. Definitely I won't be able to have enough information to dish out. So let them finish their work, then we'll get back.
Civil society groups operating in the health sector have accused political office seekers of displaying a disregard for the sector. Partnership for Advocacy in Child and Family Health insists none of the leading political parties has been able to articulate an agenda for a better health sector in their manifestos. The coalition said at a media briefing in Abuja that it reached that conclusion after careful appraisal of the manifestos of all the political parties.
We are non-partisan coalition, so we are not advocating for anyone to say this is the person we want to be on the chair by May 29th. That is not our own issue, but we are advocating that whoever sits on that chair by May 29th, there should be a change in the way the government invests in the health sector, whether it's this government or another government, whoever sits. So that's our advocacy, and that's our message, that we need more funding in the health sector to address all the critical areas that have been mentioned today: immunization, nutrition, family planning, pneumonia, diarrhea, and other diseases.
It's not acceptable for Nigeria to be producing the most stunted children in Africa. And so what do? As advocates, we want to say yes. A lot of is going on for nutrition, for example, there's local food production. But why is it that for a country that is so blessed, the farmers are producing the food, but their children are most malnourished? It is for this, our gentlemen and ladies of the press to help us to ask those questions and to engage people, not just saying it's a government issue.
We cannot twist any Nigerian to choose who they will vote for or who they will not vote for. That is not our aim. It is not our purpose. Yes, you mentioned that we said that we are non-partisan, and indeed that is what we are. If as civil society group today, that we are registered as civil society group today, and then tomorrow we will start becoming a party or pushing for a certain candidate to be voted for, then we have failed.
We are putting out the facts for people to see, to know what is happening in the country, to be able to engage, especially with the grassroots representatives on these issues. Put them on the table, ask our politicians what are they going to do about these issues of concern to us, and how are they going to do it. It is not only telling us that you are going to tackle nutrition or you are going to tackle childhood diseases. How are you going to do it? That is what we want our people to know.
It's CoreTV News at 4. We'll take another break shortly. We'll be back with more stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical, women being so powerful yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Outside Nigeria now, Israeli soldiers shot dead a Palestinian in the occupied West Bank on Tuesday. The military and a Palestinian hospital official said. A resident of the Deheshi refugee camp in Bethlehem said Palestinians threw stones at Israeli soldiers who had entered the area, and the troops opened fire. An Israeli military spokeswoman said the Palestinians held rocks, blocks, and firearms. The troops wounded one soldier. A Palestinian hospital official identified the dead man as 20-year-old Jihad al-Jafari. The Palestinians want to establish a state In East Jerusalem, the West Bank and Gaza territories were captured in the 1967 Middle East War. The Israeli military remains in charge of the West Bank, allowing the Palestinians limited self-rule in certain areas, including the major urban centers. U.S. broker peace talks between the sides broke down in April. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has since stepped up unilateral moves at the United Nations towards Palestinian statehood. Well, and that's a wrap on CoreTV News at 4. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalafe. I'll see you again.